Hello, my friends in Christ. We are adults and with purpose. Crash course. This is about David. So what happened after David fled into the wilderness? We're going to skip part of what happened, and we're going to go into 1 Samuel chapter 25 because we want to get into how David met Abigail. But David, he wasn't with 10,000 men. I said that in my last video. It was 600 men that he was with in the wilderness. He was fleeing for his life, and it was like they were catching up to each other, and then he was getting away. And David and Jonathan, and I didn't say this in the last video, but Jonathan was Saul's son. Remember, Saul was the leader of Israel, the king of Israel. His son Jonathan loved David so much, but Saul was also trying to get Jonathan to unalive David as well. It was very complicated. But going into verse number 25, this is where we're going to meet Abigail down verse 25, okay? So this is where we're going to meet Abigail in verse 25, okay? So basically, David and 600 of his men is in the wilderness. While they're in the wilderness, they come upon a man named Nabal's land, okay, in Carmel. And so basically they are attending to his sheep. Remember in the beginning, David, when he was 13, 14, he attended to sheep. So there were sheep out there and they attended to them. They made sure that they weren't stolen. They also did not steal them. They made sure that no one hurt them. They made sure that they were well taken care of because David, again, used to be a shepherd boy. So he knew how to take care of sheep. Well, at the end of the season, they called it a shearing season, okay? Shearing season is the end of a season where they feast and they have a good time. And the owners of the sheep, they shear them, which means they take all their hair off because they're going to sell it. And it's like a celebration of finances for the end of a season, right? So this is a big celebration. Everyone's having fun. Nabal is introduced in 25. He is this man that has a lot of money, but he is like, he think he's all that. He's married to Abigail, okay? And he's very conceited. He drinks a lot, you know. He gets drunk, he likes to party, and he was pretty much in his party mode, in his party phase. So David sends about 10 men to tell Nabal, hey, David has been kind of like watching over your sheep. You know, it's like 600 of us. Like, we didn't steal any of your sheep. Like, we kept them this whole season. And, you know, David sent us to ask, can we like get some food? Can we get some money? Like, you know, can you kind of like just, you know, be gracious to us? Because again, they were in shearing season, which is a time of celebration, gratitude, gratefulness, giving, and all that. Honey, Nabal was like, David who? Because, you know, when they introduced themselves, they used their father's name as a way of, I guess, respect. So they was like, David, the son of Jesse. Honey, Nabal was like, I don't know no David, and I don't know no Jesse, and I don't care about them. And if they in there keeping my sheep, oh, well, good riddance. I don't even care about them keeping my sheep. That's on them. He wanted to take care of my sheep. That's on him. I'm not giving him a dime. And basically laughs it off, goes back drinking, having fun with his friends. So the 10 messengers went back to David in the wilderness like, this was about to happen, David. Like, we're not about to be eating today. Because, like, he was like, it's your fault. Like, you shouldn't have took care of his sheep. He's not giving you nothing. David is like, really? This is where David shifts a little bit. Where David is like, all right, get the men. We gonna get them. Like, we coming. No bars held. I'm not leaving nothing moving. I'm going over there. I'm taking everything. Well, one of Abigail's, remember, Abigail is Nabal's wife at this time. Abigail, one of the messengers gets it to Abigail, or one of the people that work for her basically finds out, and they tell her. So the message ends up getting back to Abigail that this dude, David, been keeping y'all sheep. He made sure everything was good with them. He made sure that they weren't sick. Nobody took them and all that. And his messengers went to Nabal, your husband, and your husband pretty much disrespected David in the worst way possible. She's like, what? My husband? Why would he do this? Like, she already knew her husband wasn't about nothing. But she's just like, no, no way. David's like, but also, David's about to come with 600 men, and they about to tear everything up around him moving. She's like, absolutely not. She gets corn, she gets food, like, she gets all of this stuff for David, his men, and she takes it to David. She does not tell her husband, because her husband partying, he on 100. She's like, you know, just seeing him in the living room partying, she just go get on her horse, tell her servants, go, y'all, go before me, like, catch them dudes, get them this food. So she gets there, she gets off her horse, she humbly tells David, I do apologize. They do say that she was beautiful, she was amazingly beautiful. So I can imagine David like, who's that? And he looking, he like, who is that? You know, but she gets down and she's like, humbly, I apologize, I do, I'm sorry. Here, please take this food, please take this. I apologize on my husband's behalf. Abigail was very wise in that moment. She knew that her husband wasn't, like, her husband was disrespectful, her husband was mean, and her husband was unwise. But she had to think for her whole household. At the time, being a woman at that time and thinking for your husband was close to like the worst thing ever. But she put herself on the line also, because she said, I want to save my husband and all of the things that we have. And if I got to go to this man and do it, I will go to him. Like, and if he hurts me, oh well. I want to show my gratitude and save my husband at the same time. David, long story short, David was like, all right, thank you. I appreciate it. I accept your apology. And from your humbleness, I am not going to go and wreak havoc in your household. I'm not going to hurt nobody. I'm not going to do anything. Thank you for what you did. I appreciate it. So long story short, you know, she goes back home. You guys can read it. 1 Samuel verse 25. She goes back home, and when she goes back home, just imagine, like, if it was today, like, she goes back home, the music is blasting, everybody partying, her husband in there drinking, he drunk, and this and that. So she's just like, she just go upstairs and go to bed. The next morning, she tells her husband, Nabal, everything, what she did, how she pretty much saved his butt. Probably again, I know this ain't the first time. I know this ain't the first time that Nabal was tripping. But anyway, or his name might be Nabal, but whatever. I say Nabal. So it says that his heart pretty much sunk in with him. Like, basically his heart turned to stone, because he couldn't believe that, like while I was wilding out, like, my wife had to save me. Like, bad luck. And after that, pretty much, you know, after that, he pretty much died 10 days later. Nabal did. So after Nabal died 10 days later, David, he was pretty much single, because remember, they moved his wife to somebody else. After Nabal passes away, it said that he just pretty much died. God pretty much just took him. He died. 10 days later, you know, Nabal just pretty much passes away, and then David sends for Abigail, and they get married. But what I didn't understand was, like, after they got married, if you look at verse, so in verse 42, 1 Samuel 25, 1 Samuel 25, verse 42, it says that Abigail became David's wife. But then it says David also took Adonham of Jezreel, and they were both married, and were also both of them his wives. So David actually married another woman when he married Abigail as well. But yeah, so Abigail, that was her. She was wise, and she ended up marrying David. So, all right, guys, we will do another crash course coming up.